I'm converting my 67 Mustang Coupe into a Fastback. So, without further ado, I present to you my 1967 Mustang Fastback. Well, kinda. When I bought this Mustang, I wasn't planning to turn it into a Fastback, but one thing led to another, and now we're deep into it. It's my dream car, and we're bringing it back to life. Hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and let's build it together. You see, when I bought this car, I didn't exactly plan to convert it to a Fastback. It was actually a coupe that was practically running if I would have added transmission fluid. I began to tear this car down so much, and there was rust everywhere. I had to replace basically everything on the car. The front cowl, the front radiator support, the apron, some of the rocker, the whole entire floor pan, the torque boxes, the wheelhouses, the back front floor extensions, the quarter panels. And then once I got to the quarter panels, I was starting to fix them up, and I cut them off to add in the new 67 Mustang Coupe quarter panels that I bought, and I was like, I should do a Fastback. So with having no money for it, I put it on a credit card, maybe a bad choice. I drove down to Kentucky with my dad, and we rented a truck, picked it up, drove it home, and now I've been putting it together. You see, building a car isn't exactly easy. Well, for someone maybe, but for me, it's not, because I don't have a lot of time to give it, and I also don't have the experience, the knowledge, so I have to continuously watch YouTube videos and continuously put in work, make a mistake, learn from it, correct it, and keep going. In the conversion itself, I am pretty far along. I have already cut the whole back of the car off. I already have built the inner structure. The only thing I haven't done is welded anything in. I already welded and made that door gap right on the right side there. On this left driver's side, the door gap is close, but it's not exactly right. So now that you guys see what the door gaps look like, I have to start working on this car. In the last video, I started working on that door gap. I put together an inner structure. I did some other things. But in this video, I'm gonna finalize this, and then I'm actually gonna build this bottom half here. Right here requires a deck lid, which is iconic for the Mustang. And then up here, I need a brace for the roof. Then I need the roof. Then I need the rear tail panel where the lights sit, and so many other things. The problem I have to work out right now is this is a pretty good start for a door gap. It's a little big up here, but it's a little too tight down here, and that's what we have to correct. Now, if it's too tight down here, naturally, that means that this quarter panel is over too much. So I have to move this entire quarter panel over. And how can you tell it's over too much? Well, that isn't exactly lined up. So right now I'm gonna try to work this back a little more, but it's hard because there's a wheelhouse inside of here that is stopping it from going back anymore, because that lip of this wheelhouse right here is attached to the quarter panel, so it won't let it push back. This floor is stopping it from going this way anymore. It just takes a little bit of metal manipulation to get that right. But once I do get it right today, I gotta bolt it in. So let's do that. Now, one thing that I do over here is use paint sticks. If you put a paint stick between the door and you can make that paint stick fit perfectly all the way around, then you know that you got a pretty solid door gap, because a paint stick is like the perfect width for a door gap, just a little bit wider actually. Yeah, you heard that right, a paint stick. Not some fancy tool, just a good old paint stick you'd find in the bottom of a Home Depot bag. Why? Because it's almost the perfect size for a door gap. Just a little over 1/8 of an inch, which is exactly what you want. It's cheap, simple, and it works. Who knew body shop science could come straight out of your dad's garage drawer? I didn't. Alright, so I got this down here looking decent, but the next problem is I think I have to bring this and pull it more this way, which is gonna be hard because I don't have a second set of hands, which is usually the problem when I'm working with this car. Now this garage is loaded with random junk, so I'm making use of this red tablecloth. Now, bad idea? Maybe, but I'm using it to pull and leverage my weight and pull this whole frame inward, and then I can clamp it down towards the front A-pillar, and that will basically solve my problem of not having two people. Where's my dad when I need him? I don't know. Now, that is what you call a little better. That is almost perfect. Yeah, I'm not liking how that isn't even right there, which is not good. When I pulled this up, it makes this quarter panel go this way, which causes this line right here to go like this, and I think that's making it a little uneven. I'm not too sure though. Now I'm gonna try to unbolt this screw right here and see if it moves better. Now, if you're not following what I'm saying,
Having these self-tapping screws is nice and convenient because it holds stuff in place, but the problem is when stuff is held in place, it doesn't move freely. So me having that screw holding down that door jamb was actually holding it from going into the position I wanted to. So that once previous hole that I marked and I thought it was good was actually in the wrong spot. So right away after removing that self-tapper, I used my red tablecloth and readjusted and pulled that gap tighter. Now that that self-tapper wasn't in it, it actually moved and got a lot better.
All right, so I got this door gap looking pretty good right here. Now you can see that on this side, this red is a little higher, but this door doesn't have weight in it. And I know what you're thinking, you know, the hinges are strong, it shouldn't drop, but it will actually drop just enough to make this line look perfectly even. All the window and everything is actually out of this door. Now, here's where I'm not happy. So down here, looks okay, right? The gap. Well, you can see that it's this edge right here is sticking out more. So the way that we're gonna fix that, I'm gonna actually push this part in with a clamp. And you're gonna see me do that right now. Now, this is a trick I actually learned working on the other side.
This quarter panel has a lip that runs and connects to the door jamb with a bunch of welds. But my quarter panel was actually sticking out a bunch past the door. So I undid this self-tapping screws where I have them adhered to the door jamb, and then I squeezed it in that area with a big clamp and it pushed it in to match that spacing with the door. And it actually worked pretty good.
All right, guys, it's done.
That is a satisfying door gap for me. That is perfect. A little bigger at the top, which I'm not too worried about. I think the door is actually just bent,
but that's pretty good to me. Now we're finally moving on to the structure, like the actual top of the car, because right now it just looks like the car is cut in half. I'm gonna build this roof brace now and attach it just how it sits. Then we'll put the roof on, the back trunk, and then this rear panel here. This is the roof brace panel that I keep talking about, and it sits on top right here.
This roof panel isn't just for looks, it's the backbone. It ties the quarters together and sets the distance for the bottom glass to fit just right. And you guys will see why that matters pretty soon.
Now, I'm not sure if this has to be adjusted yet from the original holes that I drilled, but we'll see if it's aligns. There's two. Roof brace is in. Now it's time to move to the trunk separator, which is basically the package tray.
Now this bit here, that's the package tray. It runs straight across under the back glass and it ties the quarters together, and unlike the roof, you don't really need measurements. It just lines up with that last lip before the trunk and it's pretty much golden.
Now this kind of, you can just push in, and I had to get some fitment that I didn't get on video, but if I just hit it, it kind of falls into the place it should be in. And these tabs basically just allow me to push this piece of metal into this piece of metal, because there's not really a way to clamp it if you don't. Now I can cut these off and it will be totally fine, and some body work will take care of that. Just looking at it, this is pretty lined up and I'm kind of satisfied with that. Sometimes people have to make a cut here to push this in and make it line up, but I'm happy with that. It is sitting a little bit higher on the right side, but it's nothing I'm not too worried about. Now when I clamp this side in, I'll show you guys how I do it. So it's gonna close the gap, but it is sitting high.
This side unfortunately didn't come out like the other side where it fits evenly and perfect, and this is where I'm probably gonna have to do a relief cut and actually make the metal line up, which you guys will see in a future episode. But it just goes to show that none of this metal is perfect. It all takes a little bit of work.
Now, something that is super important when you're building this car is measurements, and there's a lot of good people online that give you measurements because sometimes you don't have them. You can't get them from anywhere, besides the people who actually built the cars and did their Fastback conversions. So one measurement you need, this roof brace up here, well actually the roof panel's not on right now, but I'll put it on soon, to down here, it needs to be between 33.5 and 33 5/8. Now if it's not, your window's not gonna fit. I'm gonna try to put this roof on, which is gonna be an absolute struggle, and you can see me do it.
Now something I've been told more than anything when building this car is measure twice, cut once. And that is exactly what I'm trying to do to the best of my ability. And I need to make sure this back roof glass measurement is right, or my glass might not fit. And if it doesn't and I weld the car together, well, that's not gonna be a fun day.
Not too bad. The roof went on, and now it's looking like a Fastback. So you guys just had to trust the process. Now let's take that measurement and see if it's 33.5 or else it's not gonna be good. All right. Ran into a little problem. Still a little problem. The measurements aren't right. Now I wrote down here, this 33.5, 33 5/8. That's from here to here. To make that the glass fit perfect, this needs to be that. Now let me show you, we're measuring about 33 3/4 of an inch. Now you're probably thinking like, you know, that's close enough, you're only 1/8 of an inch off, but that glass that I have to put back here, there's a seal that goes around it, right? And once it goes into this window here, it has, like, that seal is supposed to kind of fit the gap and kind of close it and make it look perfect. Now, if this is too wide, then what's gonna happen is there's gonna be a gap between the seal and the metal, and water's gonna get down there. And that's not helping because the seal's point is to stop the water from getting in there. So I don't know what the hell to do right now. But I do know that this roof has to come this way more and close that gap literally by 1/8 of an inch. So I think what I'm gonna do is take the roof skin, I'm gonna take the roof brace off, not the roof, I'm gonna take the roof off, and that brace that you originally saw up top there, I might pull it this way, and that might help me.
Now, if you can't tell from the video, I'm very frustrated right now because I hate having to deal with little problems like this because I want to push forward, and this will set me back because it's another day I have to spend hours trying to fix something that should just be right.
We're back, day number 2 on this video, and today I gotta fix that roof that I was telling you guys about because I can't have a window gap. Now people on TikTok said I gotta put some caulk in it and it'll be fine, but no. We're gonna make it perfect and we're not gonna just slack off and fill all the gaps with caulk. Is that what you do when you have problems in your life? You fill it with drugs? We fix the problem.